So now you go to python.org and you click on downloads and you download Python 3.92 and you say allow. You click on this and now you click on the package, double click on this or click on it so that we can install it. So we say continue, but do it carefully, slowly.
Okay.
So, okay, they install TK, so just say continue. Continue, you should be probably reading this, you agree that you use this, you install it. You have to punch in your password, don't tell it to me. So this will now install the new version Python 3 onto your system. And as Python sometimes comes up with a new system, this will be useful to have. So you can close this window because we will be using the next thing from the terminal.
Yeah.
And then close, and then you can move this to the trash. So you save some space. So now you're in this particular window. In order for the application to activate, close this window, click on the red button, that's always good, and reopen a new terminal. This is something that you can do on that little bar item.
This one, okay.
So now here you type in which Python, and you will see this is still the Python version 2. If you want to make them bigger, you drag them on the right-hand side. Go with your mouse cursor to the right-hand side. No.
Oh, okay.
Go on the right-hand side, there.
Oh, you want me
and
to
then
just
drag it. Yeah,
oh,
see, now
okay.
you can make it bigger.
Yeah.
So that is how you want to make it bigger, not in the entire screen. That's a mistake. And because we often want to have two windows at the same time, and we need to be placing them on top of each other. Now, there is something now that's called Python 3 on your computer. So now you can say which Python 3. And there is no space between the 3 and the Python. And this is now where the new Python framework is in place. So what we are doing now is we create a new virtual environment. And the environment we call capital env3. And the way we do this is we type in Python 3 space -m space venv, venv, and then space, and then the twiddle sign, that's the sign next to the 1 on the keyboard, then the shift.
Yeah.
It looks like a little wave.
Oh, yeah.
Or slash capital env3. You could technically name this any arbitrary thing, but because we are using Python 3, I call it env3 and capital because then it sticks out.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
So
okay.
And then type in enter. So this has now created a Python virtual environment.
Okay.
Now, if you make an ls, you will see this directory being there. Now we need to be activating this environment whenever you log into your system, because it's kind of inconvenient to always do this.
Okay.
So there is a file in there that's called .z profile or .z bashrc. So you need to edit this particular file, and you have to have an editor.
Vim, maybe.
Vim is good. Yeah, try out if Vim is installed. I don't know if it's installed. Sometimes you have to install these programs.
Yeah. So
just type Vim.
Vim, right? Okay.
And then enter. See if Vim is installed. Okay, it's installed. Okay, get out of Vim. And now you say Vim, and then space dot Z profile. And then we need to take a look. Z is like a Z.
Z. So profile. Okay.
Profile. And then enter. Okay, so the good news is you have already the Python path added to your Z profile thing. So everything is already set up for you. So
Okay.
you can get out of this file. And you don't close this window. You open a new window.
Oh, okay.
Because if something goes wrong, we can still use this window. So you open a new terminal. And now you say, which Python.
Thanks, Gregor.
And now it's still the old one. So now go back in the other window and edit the Z profile.
Your profile. Okay.
So we have not yet done everything correct.
Yeah.
When we see we need to add a new line to this file. And this
Okay.
new line, so we go to the end of the file. You go to the end of the file and then you type in I or A and then enter.
Okay.
Enter.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the line is called source. Now the twiddle sign again.
Yeah.
Slash env3 slash bin slash activate, lowercase activate.
Oh, lowercase activate. I saw this command this morning. That's why I was able to pick
So
up.
now you save this, but you don't just stay in that editor in case you have done something wrong.
Oh, okay. So
just save this file.
So if
So
I
you
want
do
to save it,
escape
colon
W.
That's it, right? And stay here.
Enter. Yeah.
Okay.
So now you go into the you open a new terminal. This one you can close because this one
It has to be open.
You open a new terminal. Now you say which Python. And now we see the right version of Python. We have the env3. This is a copy of the system library Python. And we have configured this into your local machine with env3 bin Python. So if you now say Python -- version in that window, we see Python version 3.92. That's what we have. You can now close the other window. You can just use the red dot if you want to.
Okay.
We have now configured Python correctly.
Yeah.
So the next step is we need to be making sure that you have configured SSH correctly. So,
okay.
You need to look into if you have a .ssh directory. The best thing is you do ls.ssh. ls space .ssh. This is not there. So you need to create a key. And when you do the key creation, you cannot use a passwordless a passphrase. You actually do have to specify a password. So it's good to get yourself a pencil and a piece of paper where you write this down because you cannot lose this thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you say SSH -sign. There's no space. Keygen, and then enter. This now, you leave the default location there.
Okay.
Say enter. Now you have to specify a password. You don't tell this password to me. You just do something. I recommend typically to choose a long passphrase, with spaces and numbers and capital letters, so that you can remember this. But remember, you have to type this multiple times in. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure. Yeah. You have to do it again. Yeah. It shouldn't be just 2 letters.
Yeah, I just entered a password.
Good.
One. That's
perfect. Good. So now you can repeat the ls command so that you see that this thing is set up correctly. And ls.ssh. .ssh. And now you have the ID pub and the ID RSA. Under no circumstances can you show anybody the content of the file ID_RSA.
Yeah.
The content of ID_RSA.pub you can show to other people. So what we are now doing is we are uploading this to GitHub.
Yeah.
So I want you to go to your browser and go to GitHub. And in GitHub, you log in. So this naturally assumes that you have a username or password created there.
Yep.
And in that, if you click on the right-hand side, there is a likely some settings. In there, you see that there is a security settings somewhere, SSH and PGP keys there.
Yep.
You click on this. And so what we want now to do is we want to create a new SSH key. So you click on new SSH key. And here now you can give it a title. You can just simply say maybe Azuric or something like this. You could also do the name of your laptop, or that's all right. And now you go into the other window, and now you can understand why you never want to use big windows, because we have to switch between these windows so many times.
Yeah.
Now we have to look at the ID_RSA.pub key, and it's really important, because if you now show me ID_RSA without the pub, you have to recreate your key. So what you need to do is you need to say cat, and then the twiddle sign, or the cat space .ssh/ID_RSA.pub. And you can use the tab key to autocomplete the files. So now you copy everything that you see,
Okay.
including the SSH/RSA, till the end of the thing.
Yeah.
And you copy it and you paste it in there. And remove the last space. And say add SSH key. This makes it now possible for you to use the SSH protocol to interface with your GitHub repositories, which makes the interaction actually quite easier for you. So now go back to the terminal.
Okay.
And what we want to now do is we want to now create the Cloudmesh environment. And the easiest thing is to make sure it's in the home directory. So you simply say CD, where you actually already are, but we just make sure. And we create in this directory a directory called CM, mkdir CM.
Oh, sorry, MKCM.
Yeah. And then we go into this directory CM. And now here we install all the repositories that we have. And just to make sure, can you type in which git?
Oh, yeah.
Which git? It's already all installed, so this is good. If you don't have this installed, you need to be installing something that's called Xcode. And that has a couple of other programs in there, and it doesn't hurt to actually update this once in a while. They come up with new versions. Okay. Now we want to verify if we haven't done anything wrong with our Python environment. We shouldn't say simply which Python again.
Okay, which.
Just to make sure that we are here and don't do a step for nothing. It doesn't hurt to double check. So now we can say, we need to say which pip, because we need to be having pip installed. And pip is installed also, and it's important that this pip is in the same env3 directory as the Python compiler, because if it's not, it's installing it into a different location, and you have a different Python environment. So now everything is nicely set up, because you also downloaded the newest version of Python, which has this wonderfully configured. Now you can say pip install. And then, yeah, you didn't wait. So don't wait for my return and enter pip install.
Okay.
And it has an outdated version of pip. So we need to install actually pip first.
Okay.
PIP.
Oh, pip install pip. Okay.
Space -U. So now you have an enter. This will be updating you to the newest version of pip. And once in a while, you actually have to do this in your environment to stay up to date. So now you can say pip install, and then don't type in enter. Just let me finish the sentence. And says space Cloudmesh dash installer. Dash installer, not dot installer.
Not it's dash.
Dash installer. And this is a convenience program because this downloads like all the Cloudmesh repositories from the command line. So instead of you issuing 20 commands that you would not now have to do and you make a mistake, I've written a program that does this automatically for you. So type in enter. And after this has been installed, I want you to increase the window size so that the window size to the in the horizontal, not in the horizontal, in the vertical gets increased. So go to the bottom, increase it to all the way to the bottom. Yeah, that's good. And now you say Cloudmesh dash installer.
Dash
Installer.
Dash.
And then enter. This gives you a short overview about what these programs can do. And one of the programs is actually called a list program. And so you can say Cloudmesh installer list. And then enter. And this showcases you all the different bundles that are existent. And each one of these bundles has a series of repositories. And we are working here currently on the Pi repository, but we could be working on any other thing. So now let's do Cloudmesh dash installer the list Pi. You can use the cursor key with the up arrow. To go to the previous command.
To the previous command, yeah.
Just, you don't even have to erase, and then a space Pi, and then enter. This showcases you that all the repositories that you would have to download in order for you to be a developer for these things. Naturally, if you just install it, a simple install on one of them on a special repository will be sufficient because it's updating all the dependencies. But what we're doing is we want to actually have the total source code checked out. So what we are doing then now is we say Cloudmesh installer and get, and then space Pi. This will download all the repositories that you see there. Now see, this is the program that I wrote for you. It just downloads them now automatically for you. With git clone. And now the best thing actually starts. It actually goes into each one of the directories and compiles them.
Oh, that is cool. So
now it has actually cached basically every of these repositories. It sorts the order in which they have to be compiled and compile them automatically for you.
That's great. Yeah.
In addition to this, they're compiled in such a form with the -e flag, which means if you make a change in the source directory, they're automatically included in your distribution for this computer, so they're instantaneously available to you.
Oh, okay.
Now, the one important thing is after Cloudmesh is installed, one program needs to be run, and that is called CMS help. That creates a .cloudmesh directory into your home directory where some configurations are automatically set up. So you need to call now CMS help and then enter. This now sets up Cloudmesh for you and the configuration directory. And since you see this, this is the Cloudmesh program that is there. The easiest thing to test this out is with, for example, the banner command. So what we can say is CMS banner and then hello. You need to specify a text. It even tells you that what you need to do, and then enter. And now, as you can see, it does give you some features, and it just prints these things out nicely. Okay.
Yeah.
So now we have Cloudmesh installed on your system, and we know where it is. So if you make an ls in this directory, these are all the repositories that are automatically downloaded for you and that you can modify.
Yeah.
Now the thing is you can now really run certain things from the command line. And one of the things is we have the py command, so you can say cms, and then I think this was the burn command, cms burn help. And this shows you the manual page for burn.
Yeah.
And one of the things is we don't actually see the GUI component that we work on. The GUI component, however, we work on in a special branch that you need to check out.
Yeah, GUI.
So you need to be going into the Cloudmesh py burn directory. So say cd Cloudmesh -py burn, and then enter. And here we need to check out the GUI component. And in case you were to work for other components, there are other branches available for you, which you can browse, for example, in the web browser. So move the window a little bit to the right and go back to the web browser. Yeah. So that you can.
Okay. So I go back to the web browser.
Okay. Click on the web browser. Now type into your Google query Cloudmesh, and then GitHub. Just Cloudmesh and GitHub. I wouldn't even do it there. I would just.
Oh,
you see it there, Cloudmesh py burn. Yeah. See,
here.
There you go. Go there. You see here how our project is coordinated. We have a main branch, and then next to the main branch, there's 12 branches on the left-hand side. Just move your cursor there.
Oh, okay.
On top.
Main branch we have right here.
12. See the 12 ones?
Yeah.
So you go to the GUI branch. That's really where we are doing the development. Now you need to download this GUI and go once more on the selector for the branches.
On the branches here again.
Okay. See, and then naturally, if you work on other parts, other people have other branches, right?
Exactly.
There's a dev branch, there's an OSX branch, and so forth. So now you go on into the command line again.
Okay.
And we are standing in that directory, and we say simply git checkout space GUI. So to get the GUI component.
Yeah.
And then enter.
And then I said enter, right?
Yes.
Enter.
Now we are on the branch GUI.
Yeah.
And now we need to actually do one more trick. We need to make sure that this is the version that is actually compiled. So in here, we just simply say pip install space -e dot. There is a space after the E, between the E and the dot.
Oh, sorry, between the
E dot, and then enter. So this will be making sure that we have the branch version installed rather than the distribution version in main. So if you now say cms burn help, we should actually see something in addition. There should be a GUI command in there.
Yeah.
There, the very first one. See? Under usage.
Oh, yeah. I see it now. Okay.
See this? Okay.
Yeah.
So now this command is there, which I have already spearheaded for you. So you can now say cms GUI just to test it out, right?
Yeah.
cms burn GUI. And there you see, it's already popping up nicely, and you can start the development in here.
And then test it. Yeah,
and test it out. So you can actually do everything with the current editor like VI or Emacs or something. So now press on cancel so that the window is being canceled.
Yeah. Thanks,
Gregor. And the special thing about this thing is I show you this later in PyCharm, is that's actually dynamically created. So let's do one more trick.
Yeah.
So this has been pre-configured when you show this with red 0, red 2, red 3, red 4. Now let's do maybe a cluster that we call blue. So use the cursor up command.
I should
Use the cursor up command.
Oh, cursor up command, okay.
And then space minus host name. And I've forgotten if it's host name or host names. Sorry, host name equal. I think it's host name only.
Oh, host name only, okay.
Equal. And now you say blue, comma. There's no space.
Okay.
Blue. Now 0. Now this square bracket open. And then 1 dash 2. And square bracket closed. Now, when we enter this command, it will be throwing an error, and I will be telling you how to fix the error. So just type in enter so that everybody can see that there's an error. The error comes because Z shell interprets the brackets. So we need to actually put the last thing, the blue and the blue 01 into a string. So use your arrow key and then just scroll back and put a double quote there and at the end. Not there. No, not there. That's the reason why I do this. Including there, yeah, like this, and then the double quote, and then enter. So now, as you can see, the machines are now, the machines are called red still. Well, as you can see, I have not taken the parameters from the command line. Let's double check if this was actually host name or host names. Just click on the red button.
Because I thought the host name. So
yeah, just do once more the help message.
Okay, help message. Okay.
Oh, it's host name. Yeah, well, apparently that's a programming error. This is a minor thing we can fix.
Okay, I'll take care of it.
So now we want to shift to use PyCharm.
PyCharm. So one question, we created env3, right? And now
yes.
when we run Python, it will run in that environment, right? How is that connected? So I'm kind of technically not understanding. Now,
can you repeat the question once more?
So we have a Git repository here in CM directory. And then we also created env3 environment, virtual environment.
Oh, okay. Python is typically installed in the system.
Okay.
And it's used system-wide, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we then install new packages, they would be technically installed system-wide. They could be interfering with the system-wide installed packages.
Okay.
So what we are doing actually is we are creating a copy of the system-wide installation of Python 3, making it a local environment, so that you are only using this local environment, so that new packages that are being installed are installed in the local environment. If we were to delete the directory env3, everything in that directory is lost. It's just the Python-related stuff, not the repositories. The repositories are the source code for where we execute the source, and the Python env3 directory is just where the libraries are being installed. And if you blow away this env3, we will be just having to do the Python 3 minus m venv env3 again. And once in a while, we actually have to do this in case we are really doing something really severely wrong. I regularly do this on a monthly basis just to double check that things are still working from scratch.
Oh, okay. So now it makes sense. Okay.
So now we start up PyCharm. So one of the things you can do is there is a magnification glass on the right hand side up there, and you in the blue bar there, next to the person.
Yep.
No, right on the very top.
Yeah. Right here.
Yeah. Click on this magnification glass and type in there PyCharm. And if you're lucky, you already have it installed. If not, you need to just install it.
No, I haven't installed.
Okay. So you install this program. Just download it. Just say PyCharm download. And I have downloaded the professional version, but the professional version doesn't require a license.
Yeah,
But
I need to.
you
I
can
bought,
get the license because you are doing this as part of an educational activity. You just have to apply for it, and you just apply with your IU email.
yeah, but I already bought this professional in the past, so
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so I have it. So
then download this, yes, and when it
yeah, it's downloading right
oh,
now.
it's downloading. Okay, good. Yeah, when it's downloaded,
I
let me
log
do
in
this.
with my
And when it comes down to entering the license and so forth, you let me know because then I will be stopping the recording
Yeah.
so that you can enter your license key, right?
Okay.
So you click on it and it installs it, and you probably have to authenticate again. So you drag and drop the PyCharm up to the application. And they used to always use the community version, but this version has some features that are kind of nice. I think that have something to do with RST. Typically, you can get away with the free version, anyways. But, I have only this year used the professional version.
Yeah.
So it's installed. Okay. So now you go back. Yeah, you can click there or can use the magnification glass. You need to say open.
Yeah.
And this now I confirm. Yeah, you need to continue. Don't send anything, I guess. Now you need to have the license in there. Wait a second. While you have a Zurich, I will stop the recording now.
Yeah.
Recording back again. So now you have activated your license. And what we want now to do is we want to not create a new project because this is only done for trivial PyCharm things. This is like for the beginner users. You do a new project and they create for you something similar like a virtual environment for your Python environment. But because we want to use on the command line and in PyCharm the same thing, we use open.
Okay.
So you go to open and then you locate the Cloudmesh CM directory. So you click on CM, and that's where now the fun starts. Now it imports all the directories into your environment.
Okay.
And you can browse them, and I don't know where we did the GUI development. It may be in that GUI directory, but it also may be in CMPy burn. So let's just explore in GUI that you have now open. So what we want to do now is we want to go to the Cloudmesh directory. Oh, no, actually, no. You need to, this was binding into the burn program. So you need to, with your cursor, or with your mouse, go to Cloudmesh PyBurn.
Cloudmesh PyBurn, right.
And click on the triangle so that you open it. Yeah, the greater sign. Click on it. Yeah. And the other one you can minimize. So here we want to now take a look at the source code where we have developed this. And the source code is under Cloudmesh. And under burn. And there we have multiple locations. We have it under GUI, but we want to go first to command because this is where we have the command defined. I want you to go back to your other terminal.
Okay.
And do once more the help message for everybody so that they can see what we are talking about. Maybe
the comment
if you click on the green button there in PyCharm, then sorry,
I can just make it smaller. Yeah.
Can you make it smaller? Then you can, So
right there.
Yeah. So if you we remind ourselves, we have the PyBurn GUI. That's the thing that we were currently working on.
Yeah.
And see, it's bound into the Cloudmesh CMS burn program. So you don't have to do this. I just wanted to everybody remind about it. Go back to your PyCharm. So this is now in the burn command, and the command is under burn, command, burn. See,
burn command,
burn pi.
burn.
Yeah, double click on this. So now make this now bigger so that we can see something. So this has a bunch of imports in. I've done this all for you, so you don't even have to worry about this. But you see the do burn command there, and see there's a usage. Burn GUI, and see we have the usage there.
Yeah.
That's what we have defined. Now this is coordinated in such a form that we use something that's called docopts. I have bound this into my own shell, which is called CMD5, that does all the magic of integrating this as a command into a shell, basically, similar to like MATLAB or whatever you want to call these things. And now we need to be searching for, and go scroll a little bit down. Scroll down.
Okay.
So this is all the man page that we have created for. Stop, you are too far. We want to go directly, yeah, like this, go a little bit up. So now here happens some magic there. The thing is we have actually two commands that are called GUI, or two options that are called GUI.
Yeah,
in order for me to distinguish them, I just have renamed them the GUI detection in arguments to burn GUI. Just it's a simple trick.
Okay.
Then when we remember ourselves, we have a lot of options like minus IP or minus host name, and I find it always so bothersome to type in minus in a dict structure. What I've done is I have created something called a dot dict, where you see arguments dot burn GUI, right? And in order for me to do this, I use this map parameters. All the parameters that have a minus in front are mapped in such a form that you no longer have to enter the minus. And how this is actually done is essentially a loop. See the format there, where you have the capital format from minus format. That's basically what happens in map parameters. So this way I can now, if you scroll a little bit down, now we can see, for example, if arguments.imager, then this particular block is being done. Go further down so that we can see what's there. And so no, do you scroll too much? So just imager. Look at imager. This starts up the Raspberry Pi imager on your Macintosh. So let's try this out in the command line. So in the terminal.
Okay.
Now we have imager. We take a look at the manual page. It says imager and tag. So what we can now do is we can, for example, say CMS burn imager. And you will see that this may not work because you may not have imager yet installed. So it tries now to download the latest version, and it can't actually find it because we need to be first downloading the images. And you have wget not installed. Yeah. This is something that I will be doing with you in a second recording, because you have to install brew in your machine in order to get this going. There are certain commands that are not installed, but we can do this in the second recording.
1 second, Gregor. Can you hold on for 1 second?
Yeah.
Just 1 second.
So let's continue first with the development of the GUI a little bit. But see, go back into PyCharm. We have there, see the burn GUI.
Yeah.
So now you see that this is there. One of the things that we want to make sure about is when we add Python to PyCharm, there's some additional features. For example, it can do syntax checking and so forth. But we need to be making sure that we have to set up the right version of Python. Can you move the PyCharm window a little bit to the right, because it's out of the window a little bit? Yeah. So we need to set the preferences. So you go to the PyCharm preferences. So I think you click on PyCharm on the top, and then there's not there, not
Oh, here,
on
right?
PyCharm.
On
This is
Python.
not the same like in Windows. You need to click on PyCharm.
Oh, here. Okay.
There you have preferences. And in here, we have to identify project CM, because what we did is we created a project CM. We open up that project CM. And what we want to do is we want to configure the interpreter. And the interpreter here is the system-wide interpreter, which we should not use. If you were to use Python in this way and do installations, it could be that you overwrite the system version and destroy your system version. So what we want to do is we want to go to the little wheel on the right-hand side and click on it. And we add a new Python interpreter, so add. And it actually luckily already found the Python 3 on env3 interpreter. And we use the existing environment instead of new environment. And we just click this on and we say, okay. Oh, and we say make available to all projects. Then we don't have to do this for the other projects. Then simply say, okay. And now what actually happens is you get all the stuff that we have already pre-installed into our environment already in PyCharm also. The same environment. This way we can switch to the terminal in PyCharm and the terminal in our Macintosh and have the same Python environment. We say okay here at this time. And now we can do certain wonderful things. On the bottom of PyCharm, there is this terminal window. We want to make that now bigger a little bit here. Good. Now we want to figure out if this is really the Python version that we are running. So we just simply type in which Python. And as you now see, as this is, we actually do have the correct version of Python now. That's really super cool because we now can really do what we do on the command line now in Python. So we don't technically need anymore the command window. Sometimes it's better to do it in a command window. So what we want now to do is we want to see if we can run our program here in this command window. So we say CMS burn, and then space, and then we do GUI, right? Because this is how we call the GUI. Cool. And as you can see, as is now you can actually run this straight from within PyCharm.
Yeah.
And if you say cancel, it cancels it out. So one of the things that we want to also do is we want to do certain code improvements.
Yeah.
So you go now into the directory where you are doing your development. So you say cd in that terminal window, cd, and then cloudmesh -py -burn. -py -burn. And then enter. Now we are standing in this directory, and there's something called a make file in there. Yeah. And this make file has a program in there that actually checks the syntax if it's correct. So you do now make, you type in make, is lowercase, space, flake 8. And then enter. This now does some checkings, and luckily we have some errors. So now you can go to and click on the 171 line on the bottom. Always go from the bottom.
Okay.
Click on this.
Okay.
And it jumps automatically approximately where the error is.
Yeah.
And so now you can actually see that there are 2 errors already. In line number 171, there's a space missing after the after the comma before the 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Type in space there. Now go back into your terminal and rerun the command again. So you go back to the terminal, use your cursor key up and run it again, and see the error is removed. Now another trick.
Yeah.
On the burn.py, right click.
On the burn.py, okay.
Right, yeah, not there. No. Just go to the burn.py that you had before highlighted, please.
Oh, before highlighted.
Go to burn.py on the left-hand side, sorry. Left-hand side.
Oh, okay, burn.py. Yeah.
burn.py, burn.py.
Yeah, burn.py here, right here.
Right click on this now.
Yeah.
And now you will see something called inspect code. Right click on it.
Right click is not working. Maybe command right click.
Maybe it's control click or something.
Yeah. And the option play, control click. Oh yeah.
And there is something that's called inspect code. So you click on inspect code.
Yeah, inspect code.
And then you say a file that's correct for this particular file, and they say okay. And this now kicks off another set of inspections, and then say, for example, this is an inspection that we typically don't really care much about. But click on it. And now we don't want to actually check this with this thing. See the number, the E7222?
Yeah.
You go after the colon in accept there, in the line number 371.
Line number 37. Oh, okay.
Go after the colon.
Yeah, after column here.
Make 2 spaces. Another one.
Okay. Yeah.
Then a hash sign. Then a space. Now you say no QA, all lowercase, no QA, all one word.
Oh, no QA. Okay.
QA colon. And then that space and the number E722. This prevents the quality assurance to fire a rule simply saying, I ignore this particular rule when this comes. Now right click again on the burn or control click. Is it control click or right click?
Control. It's control click.
Control click, and then you say inspect code. And you say okay. And this way, no suspicious behavior anymore shown. It still shows the old one, but this now shows it's clear, right?
Exactly.
So now we go back into our terminal. So click on the terminal. And we fix these other errors that are there. So now click on 6.1. So the same error there. So just a space is missing. You can click on 6.8. There's 8.1. There's a space missing. Width 8.1. And 5.1. And it's really important that we do this because we want to have the code really clean.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now we have only 2 more to go.
So it's saying what is the continuation line, missing indentation. Okay.
Yeah, these are a little bit more difficult to find out. So one of the things is let's see. We sometimes have to experiment a little bit. One of the things that you can do is just remove all these things and put everything in one line for this SG frame. Okay.
Okay.
Put everything in one line.
Yeah.
So you just use a delete character or whatever. Typically, it's when you go in front of the brackets and do a delete in front of the bracket, it's much easier.
Yeah.
So now you do this with SG text. Now you do this with the other SG text. And what we want to do is we want to keep the line length between below 128 or 124. And then there is another line. See the other one that you have there? 134. Just get this also over. And then now you see the layout there, the line above.
Yeah. Is there something here?
No. You need to move 133 to 132. Go to the beginning of SG.
Oh, okay, right here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we have everything there. That's there. So now run the program again, the make flag 8. So this we can actually see if this actually works. Okay. So now just fix these errors.
These ones, yeah.
These are just
32, 32,
trivial
32.
errors,
It's
right?
all trivial. Yeah, it's just spaces.
Make the commas first.
Yeah.
Do
So
work first on the commas. The commas are always easy.
after commas, yeah, E32 missing commas. Okay, there is a space. The comma, that should be good.
And there should not be a comma there.
Yeah, why? That's what I was accidentally.
So now run this again.
We should see commas gone, at least some of them.
So the commas are hopefully gone. So now we have a white space after the bracket open. So that looks like, yeah, there you have a space there. There should not be a space.
Oh, sorry, I think I'll do this and then I'll do this.
Okay, run this again. So now we have hopefully a clean line. Okay, now the line is actually short enough to keep it like this, but it's very unforgiving to look at.
Yeah.
So the easiest thing is to go after the first bracket open. So see after the append, no?
Oh, right here, yeah.
The round bracket, after the round bracket, type in enter. Now PyCharm is so smart enough to put this into the right indentation, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
So one of the things is however, since we have a round bracket and at the end, we go to the round bracket at the end. At the end, that is not the beginning, that is the beginning, at the very end, so the last one, and type in enter 2, just before the bracket.
Just before the bracket, here?
Yeah, enter. So now we have the two brackets, see they're highlighted even in yellow.
Yeah.
Nicely formatted. Now we test out if this formatting works. So now the next thing is see there's an SG frame bracket open.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do there is we do the same thing there.
Yeah.
And now see we have a square bracket open and a round bracket closed. So we need to go to the round bracket, yeah, and then simply say enter. And now it could be that this is not being liked by PyCharm. So let's try the make flake again. This may not be liked. Oh, it does. Okay. So now you can actually just keep it this way. It's visible enough.
Yeah.
So the rest is actually just playing around. There is go to the very top now of go now to the GUI.py program. You have to right click. You have to click on it on the left hand side.
Oh, okay. GUI.py, right? Okay, it's right.
Double click. Yeah, just double click. Okay, good. So go to the very top of this one. Actually, we were even in that file. I didn't notice. There are a couple of imports in there. Just see the import. There is a plus to the side. Yeah, we open them up. So they're all correctly configured for you. Mm-hmm. If we want to, for example, include something from Cloudmesh, we go to the import. So line number 16, go to line number 16 and say, type in enter and then say from cloudmesh.util common, cloudmesh.common.util import banner. We already, banner. And then enter. Just type in enter. So the banner is actually coming twice here. Yeah. You can right click on the GUI py thing or control click. Okay. And there is optimize imports, for example. See the optimize imports? Yeah. And you click on this. Now it actually has sorted the thing and removed the duplicates. Yeah. So this is actually pretty good. So that way you can now modify your code. And as you can see, this is see I hard code there the red 01.4 and so forth. Yeah. Into the code, that's something that you can then later on look into once you have figured out, is the layout correct? Do you do something? So you can play around with this more and fix this. So, but now you can actually see that we have done everything. So now let's figure out if we can change something. So at the beginning of the GUI, we have some when you display the GUI, if you scroll down a little bit, where we work on the layout.
Yeah, right here, load data and layout right here.
Yeah, just there is at one point we give it a title somewhere,
Yeah.
right? So don't even know where I'm doing that. Go further down. Maybe there's some more stuff. Well, we can change something here. Just like go further up, we can change something somewhere. And maybe this is inside tab 1, right? See the text there? This is inside tab 1.
Yeah, inside tab 1. So yeah, you can.
Yeah, just change the text to say maybe a network layout or burn layout or so. Okay, when you don't, so you have actually, it's automatically saving. PyCharm saves typically every couple seconds or so. Now, if you go back to your window in the bottom and repeat the command that you use for starting up the GUI.
Yeah. I'll do this. It's not taking up. See.
So you can now go to the tabs that we have there. See burn. Oh, burn. Go back to burn, because we see here network layout. See the text there on the top, network layout.
Yeah.
That's what this thing is doing.
Yeah.
So you can see we haven't even compiled anything. We just do everything, and this is the beauty on how I actually set up Cloudmesh for you through the Cloudmesh installer and through the proper integration in PyCharm. So I will interrupt this now and we'll stop the recording.